never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Nikolai Naylor, how the devil are you, sir?
Good. How are you, sir? Yeah, been on BBC today, I hear.
BBC, LinkedIn, I'm all over the shop.
I know,
I'm all over the
everywhere.
shop. Yeah.
Congratulations.
And here's the novelty. They turned around at the end of the show. Can you come back and do another one? So, hey, who knows? Who knows?
Awesome.
Anyway, the show's about you. Nikolai Naylor, this is the very first I think I've ever done, and we'll come to that in a second. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm in the Philippines right now, which is why you're saying probably the first.
It is, absolutely. I've never done international, so this is so exciting. What time is it? Because that's the first thing everyone asks.
8:30 at night, so it's dark.
Right, okay, so bedtime for me.
Yeah, bedtime for most people. No, so I'm married. I've got 2 kids, teenage kids, not
Good
quite
luck.
as old as yours. Yeah, I know they're fine at the moment. Bit moody. We've got a lockdown dog, which is good. The only time we could have had one. So it's part of the family, and love spending time with the family. I keep fit as much as I can every day, a bit like you, but doing your press ups and everything like that. But then I also do taekwondo because I love taekwondo. I've done it since a teenager, and I'm hoping to do it until the day I die. But I don't know if that quite will work out.
Excellent. And so you run an accountancy practice in the UK, so Naylor Accounting. But why are you in the Philippines then, Nikolai? This is
so
the
I run
interesting thing.
Yeah, so I run Naylor Accountancy Practice, which I've done for over 10 years, and then I also have an offshoring company called Intelligent Outsourcing, and that's why I'm here in the Philippines. It's the first time I've been here since COVID, so 3 years, because they only just started letting you in basically in April, but then you had to quarantine and it was going to take me months just to get here through different areas. You had to quarantine for like 12 weeks or something ridiculous. So it's the first time being here. And it's amazing. Last time we were here, there was 27 of us. Now there's over 100, and we're looking at growing even more. So because COVID's just gone crazy. Well, yeah, we started the offshore with offshoring because we will talk about that later, I'm sure. But yeah, so I run Intelligent Outsourcing.
Fantastic. So yeah, and this is the thing, right? So obviously I've been in the industry for 15 years. I talk to an awful lot of accountants, bookkeepers. I talk to people in the software industry. I also talk to outsourcers and offshorers. And so your average accountant, Nikolai, I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, your average accountant would go to an offshoring company and say, can you give me some staff? But you have actually set up your own offshoring company. How did that work, and where did that idea come from?
Well, I did it. I mean, it's over 6 years ago. I did it before that, just for myself. But it basically came because I think I went to a conference and they were talking about outsourcing to India, and that was the way forward. But the problem I had was I didn't have control. So I didn't have control of what people did. They weren't using my systems, and they weren't using my ways. What I used to call that, well, I still call the Naylor ways, the Naylor accountancy ways. So, and then I'd heard some horror stories of outsourcing the work. It's a different person every time, and it's always different. They keep having issues with the same work, and they still have to do loads of work when it comes back. But I could see the reason for it because I was struggling to get people at the time. I was just not long been running my accountancy practice, and I wanted to sort of get people in. And somebody working for me was Filipino. It's half Filipino. It still is half Filipino. She has.
You're not going to change.
Then, no. And
what you mean is she's still working for you?
Yeah, she's still working for me. And then we got her niece to work for me to start with, and then we grew it from there. I introduced it to friends, and they really caught on to it. And then we thought, well, we should introduce it to other people. But the difference is what we do is that the partner, which we call, which is the accounting practice, they use their systems, their ways. They're in communication with them all the time. They can even talk to their clients, which I do in my Naylor team. They email, talk to them on the Teams. just so that it sort of makes things go forward quicker, basically, rather than being a bottleneck with a client manager or anybody like that.
Excellent.
So that's how I started it and why I started,
No.
and it's grown since. Basically, we have a team in the Naylor accountancy practice of 8, and two of them are admin, and that's only because if one's off on holiday, I want another admin there, because otherwise it can be a nightmare for us all in the practice, basically.
Cool. So people watching can't see this, but I can see it at the corner of my eye. We've got a wander cam, and again, this is the first time we've done this as well. Because I think, you know, we've got this image of these outsourcing places in foreign countries, and you know, is it a sweatshop and goodness knows what else? So let's have a little wander around your office. If we just bring the other camera in,
so lovely wander cam.
So yeah, if you just take.
So this is the conference room right now. So this is where I am. So and then we're just wandering out into the main what we call operations.
Is that a marble floor?
It is. Yeah.
Wow.
We've just moved in here this year, so we have another office across the road. So we've got most of them in another office, and then we've got people here. So this is where we're filling up now. And the guys here, they work until 11 o'clock time here, so that's 3 p.m. UK time.
Wow.
So they start at 6 a.m., finish at 3 p.m. UK time. And so everyone's in there. We've got some officers at the back there, which is our HR.
That is incredible.
Finance and stuff.
So it's like a real office, but somewhere where is it warm there at the moment?
It is. It's probably about between 25 and 30. So it's warm, but it's not as warm as it can be. In summer, it's 40. So,
wow.
And humid.
Wow.
So
yeah.
But this is the best time of year. Best time of year here. For us Brits, anyway.
Yeah. So you said that you set up intelligent outsourcing because you well, you didn't say it, but are you a control freak, Nikolai?
No, well, I think any accountant probably is, to be fair, because you can't help it being an accountant, because you want to make sure that your product, which is your service, is to a certain standard. So the way you can do that is making sure everybody who's doing the compliance or bookkeeping is following your processes and procedures. And the only way you can make sure that is actually happening is if you actually know what they're doing and they're using your process and ways. And that's what we're doing in intelligent outsourcing. The team will be using the partners' processes and ways. We have our core values for everybody in IO. IO is intelligent outsourcing, which is, integrity, care, have fun. So have fun is a really key one, because we want people to enjoy coming to work, and because they spend most of the time here. Accountability, respect, and growth and excellence. So as long as our partners are happy with those core values, then they can actually use this offshoring team to their advantage. And we've got guys that have just built up a team. One of the guys that we've had, one of our partners, he's built up a team of 5 already, and he only started with us at the start of this year, I think, because he's done loads of acquisitions. So he's done a load of acquisitions, and the way he's doing it is he's acquiring the firm and getting the compliance done here and the added value done in the UK. So you've got your accountants out there talking to clients, doing management accounts and any other added value that they need to be doing, and speaking to clients to pull them in as well, referrals and everything.
No, fantastic. And so you are an offshoring organization, not an outsourcing organization. Yes. So I think we all know the difference, but can you explain it for the layman or someone that's just landed from another planet?
When we started intelligent outsourcing, offshoring wasn't a big thing. It's become quite big during COVID and everything, because people are struggling in the UK and around the world to get accountants, basically, and the salaries are going up. So the difference between intelligent is outsourcing and of work. So it's outsourcing of work rather than offshoring of a person, basically. So outsourcing itself has has offshoring and outsourcing as two subsets. That's what we call ourselves intelligent outsourcing. So we are the better of the options of outsourcing work or offshoring the work, basically. So the difference with outsourcing work is you give a bit of work to a company and then they just give you it back completed. You don't know what's happening in the background. You don't know who's doing it in the background. And it may not come back in the format that you want it to. You have to collect all that information from your client. They won't be collecting it from the client. You have to make sure it's all correct before you give it to the outsourcer, because if it's not, they'll send it back and say, this isn't right, we can't deal with it. With offshoring, just on those two little bits there, you've got your offshoring team that can actually send it to the client asking for the docs, or they can send it to your client manager, because we have people that don't have the offshore team speak to the clients in the UK, but what they do is they have a client manager that sits between them. And what they do then is they will create the email asking for the documents, send it to the client manager. The client manager will send it out to the client, and then it comes in, and then the team member over here will actually do all the processing and compliance work here, and then send it back to the client manager to go out. The difference also is if the partner, so the accounting practice or bookkeeping practice, don't have a problem with the offshoring, the work coming back, they can correct it, get the person to correct it and work to their ways. The way we do it with IO is they can let us know if there is an issue, because there always is an issue sometimes, just because you're dealing with people, and people, you have to follow processes, procedures, and they don't always happen because people miss out a step or something like that, or they don't quite get it. So we have what's called IO Academy. So we set that up for the very purpose of training people before they come in. So we do a month's training program for anybody coming into IO, Intelligent Outsourcing, in UK accounting, Xero, QuickBooks, and then they can go into the client straight away with that knowledge. But then if there is an issue, we can do a training program for them to whatever their sort of weakness is, we will make sure that they get back. So it's very different to outsourcing of work, and also we have a care. So one of our core values is care. So we care for the team member, and we also care for the client, so the partner. Does that answer your question, Ashley?
Absolutely superb. And I'm just thinking, so I don't know if you know, but I actually coach accountants as well. And I've got a client who's just taken on someone in Scotland, and he's up north somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's taken on this person in Scotland who's going to work remotely. Well, that person could be working in your office that we've just seen there with the swanky marble floor.
No, definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and I think let's make it even easier. During COVID, we were all told we had to work from home. So I'm running my little office. Let's just say in Sidmouth, and I've got 3 staff, and they all come in every morning. Now they've all got to work from home, and it's all remote. Well, it doesn't have to be down the street. It could be in the Philippines. So we've had this. Jazz has turned around. He didn't know the difference. So. Have we answered your question? He's got one client. What PC deal direct with clients, phone calls or emails? I'm not sure I understand the question. So I think what you're trying to ask, Jazz, is that basically if I was offshoring my work to Nikolai, I could turn around to that member of my team, because it's a member of my team now, isn't it? It's not a member of your team.
Yeah, so just they are a member of IO, so they're hired by IO, but they effectively work as your team member. I
will always work with Sally. So you've got Sally that sits on desk number 3. She will always work for me.
And they'll learn your systems, your processes, everything like that. What we do in the Naylor team, I don't know if is that we have a daily huddle, the Naylor accountancy team, so that everybody's together, because we have people in the UK and here, so it just means it's one big team. Some people do it weekly. We prefer one minute each, just going around the table. So it's 10-15 minutes. That's it. What's the question? So
the question is, what percentage of your team deal direct with clients on phone and emails? There you go. So
100% of my personal Naylor accountancy team. Of partners, it varies. It just varies. Most don't do it like I do. I mean, I have them on Teams talking to clients, but we have one focal point in the Philippines, and an admin in the Philippines, and then a client manager in the UK. So we have three 3 points of contact with a client. The admin here is here in the UK. And we have the phones answered here in the UK. Here in the Philippines. I'm not in the UK, so I'm getting confused.
You don't know where you are, do you?
I only arrived on Sunday, so my body clock's all over. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Tim's come up with a different question.
Tim. I know Tim.
We all know Tim. How you doing, Tim? Good to see you. So, what percentage of IO have the skill set to communicate directly with clients? Well, this is the thing, right? When we were setting up beforehand, your guys all speak English, or the guys that I spoke to.
Yeah. So in the Philippines, it's something like 95% speak English. The schooling, universities, and everything's in English. People, just like in UK, have different levels of speaking English. I mean, just speaking English and being understood. So what we do, we actually do it. They were doing it today. They were doing some fake calls. I was actually doing some of the fake calls. I don't normally one of my client managers does. So we train them in doing fake calls, and we do it whilst they're with people. Everybody's different. But lots of them are very capable of it. We have all the Naylor team doing it, and they get scared to start off with because they're not used to it. But what we always say is don't do it straight away. First of all, let them settle in, then let them do emails, because we even have to train them in emails, because otherwise they put things that we're not used to in the UK in, like God bless, because it's very Christian here, which I quite like, but we want it to be normal for the UK client. They'll also call you sir. So I noticed on some other posts that I had some of the guys call me Sir Nikolai. So they do call me Sir Nikolai. I feel quite bad when they do it on posts and stuff, because I'm not knighted. But you would be Sir, so you'd be Sir Ashley and be Sir Tim.
Like that.
But what we say to them is don't do that when it's to clients, just be, as in the client's client, the partner's client.
Sure.
But yeah, so we train them. So then you do the emails, and then you go on to the calls. Once they're happy with the emails, then go on to calling. But somebody might be fine straight away. We've got some new starters in our next office that I'm going to at the weekend, which we open up in January. And their English is amazing, because one of them has worked in Dubai for like 20 years or something as well. And we find that we're getting people coming back to the Philippines and doing that as well. So it's horse for course. If somebody comes to us, Ash and Tim, saying they want somebody to be able to, who's really good English, to speak externally, we can do it. We just make sure we get somebody who is that caliber as well.
And I guess with your academy, I love that, an academy, that's so brilliant. But with your academy, right, you can see the different skill set coming through. This person here is really good at QuickBooks. This person here knocks Xero out the park. And so we're now talking to a client that needs someone who's really good at Xero. Bang, we're going to put this person with them. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So back to the script then. What challenges are you seeing for accountants and bookkeepers, Nikolai?
Well, the big one is hiring. It's hiring in the UK. We're hearing it all the time. I hear it from friends. I'm in a mastermind group that people are struggling to hire. In the UK, it's also retention in the UK, but it's not just UK, it's actually globally. So don't think it is just in the UK. But it's something. My battery's about to go dead, I think. Oh no, I hope it doesn't, Ash. But
quick, get your team in quickly.
Yeah. So it is the hiring in the UK, and it's I'm hearing it all the time. And then the apprentices, don't always work out. So we're hearing people having to then get rid of them, then they come to us to sort of fill in the gap, basically.
Awesome. I've got a great question for Jazz. I'm so glad you're on the show today. Are we expected to train and develop, for example, CPD?
So they do CPD. They have to do CPD if they're a CPA. So we have to do two different types. You have an accountant or a CPA. They're all done a 4-year degree in accountancy, and then you have a CPA which does an extra year and a half afterwards, a bit just like the CPA in the US. So here is like US tax. The answer is we train them to a level. You need to help them on their way and their journey to do what they need to do for you. We will help you on that journey as well, all the way through IO Academy. But we also, the way we see it, Ash, is that everybody is helping each other. So the team are mentoring each other as well. So they are helping each other. So those that need more help, we will help. But it goes in reverse as well. You know, as once they've got more experience, they will help in others as well. So it's a big team. It's not we do this, you don't. You know, we're not going to help you. You with this partner, we're not going to help you because we're with this partner. If they need help, and we know that with expertise is there, we help everybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking here, right? Okay, so let me just I'm just visually I'm in my mind walking down Exeter, and I can see all the different accountancy practices, and each individual one have got a few staff, and they're doing their own thing, all in different offices, and they're all working to different standards and what have you. Basically, what we've done is we've put all of those staff into one great big room in the Philippines at IO. And we're all training them to exactly the same standard. And those that are struggling will pick up off the superstars, and the superstars will help the ones that are struggling. What an amazing model. Perfect for a control freak, Nikolai. I love it.
The only difference is on that, Ash, just is that everyone's doing different systems. So some people might be on accountancy manager, other on Iris, you know, just on the client management system. Yeah. But you're right, yeah. And then what IO Academy will send out bulletins on things that change in the UK as well, so everybody's aware of it at the same time. Like,
you were sending loads of bulletins out the other week, weren't you? With everything changing left, right, and center.
Left, right, and center.
Oh my goodness!
It's confused my UK client managers as well. My goodness. Well, I was on a call with a PNC. PNC is a potential new client yesterday with my client manager and one of them. And because of all the things that have changed, you know, like Jeremy Hunt took something back on IR35, and for you accountants, you know what I'm saying. Liz Truss took it away, so it went back to the employer, the onus. It went, then he's changed it back to the employee. He didn't even realize that because it was one of the small things that Jeremy Hunt changed. But absolutely, it's been massively changing for all as accountants, almost like COVID.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Anyway, but it's starting to settle down a little bit now, I see. We've got the World Cup, so
I know.
Are you guys all enjoying that over there, or
they don't watch it? They follow basketball here, so it's basketball. Okay. No, okay. I'm sort of listening to it and on my iPhone.
Excellent.
But it's totally different times, obviously.
So, what's your top tip to help accountants and bookkeepers today, Nikolai? What can they be doing to make life a little bit easier?
Well, it's top tip for anybody, and it's any business really, but especially accountants, is just focus on what's important and not the compliance bookkeeping, which is what is in, you know, for a partner or anyone like. They want to be focused on the good added value, and then let somebody else do the compliance bookkeeping and sort of all the grunt work. And that's where we come in, because that's what you can do with intelligent outsourcing. But it's the same in any business, Ash. It's absolutely the same. You want to focus as a business owner and as your top guys sort of in the UK, like your client managers, your accountants with lots of experience. You don't want them doing all year-end accounts, apart from the most difficult ones. You want them to reviewing them and then having the conversations with the client, and they get somebody else to do that. You don't want them doing your bookkeeping. If you're a bookkeeper, and you're the owner, practice owner, it's best you get the people in. You know, get clients in, speak to clients, keep that relationship going, get somebody else to do it. You can always review and help when you need to. But that's my biggest tip. But it's focus on what's important to you and the added value. It might be having extra time to just go with your family, go for a dog walk or something. It doesn't have to be extra work.
Go on holiday to the Philippines.
This isn't a holiday.
Sounds like. Hey, if that's what you thought I was aiming for, I didn't. But if you think you're having a holiday, that's good.
Always welcome out here.
So another question from Jazz. Like I said, he's a superstar. Thank you for all your lovely questions. Levers and contingency planning. Okay, so here I am. I'm working in my normal practice here in Sidmouth. I've got 3 staff, and Sally turns around and says, I've been offered a job somewhere else. I'm going to leave. How does that affect me if my Sally in the Philippines decides she's leaving?
So they're on a 60-day notice period, so they will leave. We do everything we can to keep them. When it does happen, what happens is IO Academy comes in and they basically process everything that they're doing. So they create a plan of all the work they do, so that then they can get somebody else in. What we do now, so we sort of changed our model. So we used to get people in when people wanted them, but what we're doing is we have a pool constantly going through IO Academy. So we've always got people in that pool that if they've not placed with anybody, they can come through. So we've got every month we have people coming out of the pool who are trained, ready to go with clients, basically our partners. So what they'd do is bring that person in and they'd be training them for at least 30 days, but with IO Academy in the background, knowing what they do and everything. So we have not just the new person picking up the work and being trained by the person leaving, but also IO Academy there as well. So it's better than the UK.
Well, yeah. So hang on. What I'm hearing here is it's not my problem if one of my team members leave. It's your problem.
Well, yeah, we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, your phone's going to be going mental now. So tell me, I'm sat here in my office in Sidmouth with a few staff, and I'm now thinking, this is brilliant. What do I do now, Nikolai?
Well, you can contact me. You can go on LinkedIn. You can just message me, or you can go to our website and just book an exploratory meeting with me. And then, if you want to go ahead, then we'll take you through to the next stage. You just have to fill in a form because we want to know more, and then we'll do a strategic meeting with you, and then go down the roadmap.
Fantastic. Oh, it looks like Jazz has got another question. Biggest challenge in recruitment is finding qualitative practice experience. Impossible for micro firm. Does IO feel this skill shortage? Big 10 and 20 are lowering the bar. Consequences lower down the food chain are suffering. Oh my goodness, this guy is awesome, isn't he? So hang on. I'm thinking. That's all right because you've got the academy.
Yeah, you've got the academy. I mean, what you do find is that some people don't meet the grade. So what we have is we have people do an exam, a test before they actually allowed in. First of all, it's an interview, and then a test as well. Well, no, it's a test, then an interview. But first of all, you go through the CVs. So the guys do that, and then they go through it. You do have different levels of where they are. So you have people who are junior, like they've just starters, only a couple of years experience or maybe less in the graduates. But we don't place them with anybody unless they want them in a team. So what we always say, if you're starting with someone, it's best with them with experience. And if you're thinking of growing a team, get someone with experience, then they can train the other people in. Once you get more people in, you can get them more junior coming in, and then they get trained up because you've got the senior there to oversee them. So he's absolutely right. In the UK, there's an issue. There's an issue everywhere with it. But what you do is you grow them up. So what we are doing with IO Academies and we're looking to do with our partners is making sure they have a team that grows up with them so that they actually get in that experience, but get that initial one with experience and then grow it from there. But I would always get people in with less experience because otherwise you have everybody up here, so you start with someone there and then have a few there just to fill the gaps when they leave or move on, because that might eventually happen. You never know.
This is Alex Ferguson of Man United, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I would love to be an Alex Ferguson.
Hey, it's supposed to be 15 minutes. We've gone way over. It's been delightful. It's been delightful to talk to you. I've got one more question, but before I do that, I just want to show off my guest for next week, and I am so excited. I've got the lovely Kat Bond from Xero. I used to work with Kat donkeys years ago, so it'd be lovely to have a little natter with her. So she's coming in next week. Nikolai, you've been absolutely superb, and I love your attitude. I love what you're doing out there. I love your marble floor. I can't get over that. Here I was thinking it was like a third world country and there'd be straw on the floor. So very, very good. So here's my last question to you. What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were at primary school, in your shorts, running around the playground, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, primary school, I think as most of us wanted to be soldiers. I want to be a soldier.
Oh wow!
So join the forces. And then when Top Gun came out as a teenager, then I wanted to be a fighter pilot. So I even went to Biggin Hill, but I didn't. But I didn't only pass the aptitude for navigator. But I wanted to be a fighter pilot, nothing else. And then I chose to be an accountant.
There you go. There you go.
Very-
And what a lovely accountant you are. So it's all working for you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ash.
So thanks ever so much for coming on the show. Thanks
thank
to
you so much for
everybody
inviting me.
for being here. And Jazz, brilliant questions. And Tim as well. Nice to see you as well. We will be back next week with Kat. So until then, thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Get
Thanks, Ash.
out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win.